So welcome from SimGarage.com. Wanted to debut a new product to you today. It is a product that will allow you to control your analog gauges and your digital gauges from iRacing to your rig. So while I get this set up, this is my development computer system, so it's a little awkward for iRacing, but it'll work for what we're trying to accomplish. Little background. So the majority of the work we do is actually custom work. We have many of our customers send us dash components out of wrecked race cars, and we convert those into something they can build into their rig that gives them iRacing input. And they've always asked to have the gauges active for iRacing. So a while back, we developed the capability to do that. It is now being offered to the public. So what I've got to demo here for you today, quick overview. I've got two tachometers here. I just tied them together off one module to show you how they react. We actually offer these on our website. You can actually buy any aftermarket tachometer, and as long as it's selectable from 4, 6 to 8 cylinder, should work with the system. Select 4 cylinder because 4 cylinder allows you to rev to 11,000 RPM in an Indy car or a high revving car. It also is very accurate for 8 cylinder. So the two tachometers here are tied to a tachometer module that's available from SimGarage. See that on our website. Very simple hookup, very detailed instructions as to how to hook up the gauges and do the software setup to allow you to control these. We also have 4 gauges on this particular setup, which is a voltmeter, a water meter, water temperature, oil pressure, and fuel level. And that is controlled by our quad gauge module, which is a little out of view here over on the side. Very similar to the tachometer module as far as hookups, controlled by the same software package, which I'll show you. These particular gauges you need to buy from SimGarage. I have them custom built by a gauge manufacturer. Very, very, very high quality product. And also, I think, very well priced for what you're getting. So what I've got on the screens here is I've got iRacing running in the background here. I went ahead and loaded that to save some time. But what we need to get into is the software itself. If you go to the SimGarage icon for gauge control, the software will come up. First thing you'll notice is up in the corner here, upper left-hand corner, we have a setup to allow for you to tell it what installed modules you have. In this particular case, we got a tachometer module and a quad gauge module. Go ahead and click on those to activate them. Pick the particular COM port that they're tied into. In this case, the tachometer module is in 5, the quad gauge is in 6. So you don't have to do this again every time you fire up. Just hit the Save Configuration button. And now when you fire up the SimGarage software, that will be your setup. And as you add more modules, you can adjust it here. If you go ahead and activate and go into the software itself, you will notice a few things. iRacing, I've got a little setup up here that tells you kind of who is logged in, what the ID is of the person logged in, and whether it's streaming or not. If iRacing is not streaming, this will be red, and the gauges will not be active. The yellow LED here shows that you're on pit road in this particular case. Once you clear the cones, either leaving or going into pit road, that will change color based on where you're at on the track. The test communication button is important for the simple fact that if you're not streaming from iRacing, you want to be able to see your modules are active and working. And you'll notice the green LED lights up on each of the modules to show you that it is communicating correctly. The yellow LED, by the way, is to show you have 12 volts hooked up correctly to it. The gauges require the 12 volts. So that is what's powering the light and the signal to the 12 volts. You can turn that off. These gauges here are nothing more than representations of what iRacing is sending to the computer, and tells you in this particular case I got oil pressure, fuel level, voltmeter, water temperature, and oil temperature set up on here for a visual. The tachometer here, along with a sliding scale, is put in place. The gear indicator down here. These modules, along with about 10 more modules, will be available in the not too distant future for you to add to your rig to give you a lot more of this capability on your setup. But we can take and move this over. You can get this out of your way. You can actually minimize it and it'll run in the background, or you can just, so you don't have to use another one of your monitors, or you can leave it wherever you'd like. Go ahead and fire up iRacing here. And again, my development computer nothing more than a joystick pad. Very awkward. But as you can see by the gauges on the screen and the analog gauges in front of you, the reaction time is very fast, very accurate. That's what iRacing is giving us, and then I output to the gauges themselves. Go ahead and quickly pop it in gear quick. As soon as you go forward and get off pit road, you'll see the yellow LED get dimmer. Once you clear the cones, just do a little bit of a lap here to show you the gauge reaction time. Go ahead and go back into pit. Once we clear the cones, you'll see the yellow light will go brighter again. And you're on pit road. And pop it back in neutral. And again, as you can see, very fast reacting, very accurate to what iRacing is outputting to showing the analog gauges. I appreciate you viewing, and if you need more information, please contact us through SimGarage.com and also take a look at our offerings there. Thank you.